Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am discussing Howling Horror Nights Orlando, and it is officially speculation season. So I do want to start off by saying we have one house confirmed, one partially confirmed, but it was also kind of leaked. And then we have two that are possibly coming back, and then the others are just speculation. I also do have my Howling Horror Nights 29 map with me to basically discuss some of the locations of the houses as well, just as a reference, just because they're using, I guess, the same layout as 29 for this year. So without further ado, let's get into this speculation. So we have one house that is confirmed already, and that is Beetlejuice. And like I said in my video on the announcement, I am very excited for this house. I can't wait to walk through it and actually experience it. But I am very excited for this house. I saw photos of it when it opened for one weekend at HHN Light, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm very excited just to experience the house. I'm excited to just relive the movie. My best friend and I, we watched it a couple weeks ago, and we were like, okay, so this has to be in the house, and this has to be in the house. So the houses that are most likely coming back. These were houses that were already built. Two of them were opened during HHN Light, but they had plexiglass. So there's no telling if they're going to remove the plexiglass or not. I do want to make a note, though, but Beetlejuice's location is in the location where Graveyard Games was last event. And the Bride of Frankenstein lives. The Bride of Frankenstein lives is where Ghostbusters was last event, and that was actually one of my favorite houses to go through. Is the only house I walked through 3 different times. Every single night I went, because we had Express 29 opening weekend. And I do want to make a note that I will be there sometime in September. I haven't chosen the dates yet, but you will definitely be seeing a lot of footage from that weekend. You'll be seeing my best friend, of course. She's been going with me for the last 5 years, or this would have been the 6th year if we would have gone 26, but that's a whole nother story for another time. We would have gone for sure last year if COVID didn't hit. And then we have Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, which is where Us was at 29, and that was the house that scared the shit out of me. There were a couple houses at 29 that scared the hell out of me, but Us was one of the main ones. And then we have a house that was sort of announced, but not really, but it was more leaked, I guess, and that was Puppet Theater Captive Audience. I did watch the video that Universal Orlando released, the Peacock special or whatever it was, and it looked pretty cool. It looked like it was me as gory as House of 1,000 Corpses, which I love that house. That was in my top 4, surprisingly, and I didn't see the movie beforehand. So, sorry to all the fans out there. So, let's go into the speculation. There's a couple speculated houses that I would love to see replaced. Those being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I'm not a big fan of. I didn't see the movies and don't really care to. I'm not a big fan of Leatherface. Even though he scares the shit out of me, like, no joke. He scares the absolute hell out of me, and if this does happen as a house, I wouldn't mind it, actually. I've been wanting to see Leatherface at the event, but not in his own house. I'd rather see the Titans of Terror or the Invisible Man, the Forever Purge, or Spiral take place at this house. Even though we've seen the Purge and Saw at the event for the longest time over the last 10 years. but I would love to see those again because Saul at 27 was just incredible. And that was actually my brother's favorite house that year. It was, I think, in my top 3 that year because The Shining and one other house, Scarecrow, took my top 2. So the next house that I'm pretty excited for, and so many fans are going to be so mad at me for this, but I I don't know who Fear is. I know of him, and I know he was a big part of 2010's event, and I do know that the lantern is right here, and I think by what has been said sort of about this house is we're going to be going into the Lantern of Fear, and we're going to be seeing icons from the past as well as scenes from their houses from the past, which will be really cool. I'm all for going back to the past for these kind of houses, like 25 did for 25 years Monsters of Mayhem, which I didn't get the experience, which I'm actually really sad about because that was my very first year and we didn't have Express. And we went on one of the busiest weekends of the year. The next house on this list is Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland. And I'm not too fond of the name. I do think that the houses will stay the same. I do think the names of these will change as time goes on. And I hope so because I'm not digging some of these names. But I am excited to return to Cary, Ohio. That's what Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland is about. And that's what we think it's going to be. I'm not sure. But I can't wait to visit some of the famous scenes from the houses and scare zones that were featured in Cary, Ohio. And that will be one of the anniversary houses for this year, as well as HHN icons captured. And those will be the only 2 that are the anniversary houses for the year, which is going to be really cool. So the next house is Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin. And I think this is going to be something along the lines of Twisted Tradition, but just more broad. And to me, that's actually going to be really cool to experience more of that world. Because the church at 28 was just incredible. I will see if I can find a picture of it and post it right now. So the next house on this list is The Haunting of Hill House, and don't get me wrong, the show was good and all, but it got boring after the 4th or 5th episode, so I didn't finish it. I'm not excited for this house at all. Same with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not excited for those, but will I be willing to walk through them if they come to the event? Yeah, sure. Will I only visit them once? Yeah, of course. I just won't visit them multiple times when I go. However, I would like to see Halloween 2018 Halloween Kills as a mashup house in place of that house, which the location of this house is where Universal Monsters was back at 29. The Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin is where Depths of Fear was at 29 as well. And Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland is where House of Thousand Corpses was. And I hope they change the location for that because that location tends not get a lot of love. And that makes me really sad because some of the best houses in recent years were in that spot. And then HHN Icons is in the soundstage where Stranger Things was. And let me tell you, I hated the house at 29, but I love the house at 28. So the last house on this list that I'm not looking forward to at all is Creepshow. I know of the Crypt Keeper. I know there's movies and there's a show out there, but I just don't care to watch it. I don't have Shudder or whatever it's on, but I just don't care to watch it. So in place of that, I'd rather see Candyman in place of Creepshow because Candyman's a really good movie, and I would hope to see the original and the new one as kind of like a mashup, like I said, for Halloween and Halloween Kills. So I'm going to go ahead and put my speculation rankings for the houses in right now. So now we're going to go into scare zones. And for me, where the 30th anniversary zone is, that's where An Arcade was, and that was the scare zone that I was so nervous walking through just because of the chainsaws. I hate them, hate the sounds of them. So I'm excited to see how they do the 30th anniversary zone, and will we see the icons or will we see their past minions? Who knows? There's still a lot more. There's still a lot of time. We still have less than 5 months until opening night. So the next one on this list is a original, which I'm not too sure about. I would love to see an original property like Psychoscarapy in that spot again, like there was at 25, just because that was the first scare zone I actually walked through, and actually it scared the shit out of me. So I would love to see that again. So yeah. Creepshow as a scare zone I could see more of rather than a house. I don't see how it's so popular that it would get both a house and a scare zone. There's just no way. So the next scare zone, Terra Quintus, and I hope and pray I said that right. Don't come at me, HHN fans, please. But I'm looking forward to this just from knowing of the Terror Queen herself and the lore. It's been 15 years since she was supposed to return, so I'm thinking that we'll get to see her in the HHN Icon's house and in her own scare zone, which would be really cool. So the last scare zone that is speculated is a best of scare zones mashup. And my only question for this is, are there going to be zones from the past 5 years or the last 10? Because I can think of some pretty good ones from the last 10 years as well as the last 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put my rankings for scare zones here. So with that being said, I am looking forward to this year. It is going to be such an amazing year. I'm looking forward to it. Anniversary year is always one of the best, and yeah, my first year was the anniversary year, so I'm looking forward to it. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one, and look for more Horror Nights videos from me because there will be a bunch leading up to the event. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.